saying that to be Chicano, it means that you're from kind of like a Latin kind of culture, but you were born here. That's where.
Before the Chicano movement, the term Chicano used to mean poorest of the poor. During the civil rights movement, they used the word to unite themselves within the Mexican American population. The 1960s Mexican American civil rights movement involved various issues, from restoration of land grants, farm workers' rights, education enhancement, to voting and political rights. Cesar Chavez has been seen as one of the most influential people of the Chicano movement. He composed boycotts, fast and nonviolent tactics to help equalize farm workers' rights and fair working conditions. In the public school system, walkouts, high dropout rates, crumbling schools, lack of Mexican American teachers jeopardize students to achieve their goals in higher education. Artwork, like the one shown, help the Chicano population reach empowerment and feel important to fight for their rights.
This is an interesting question. What does it mean to be Chicano? I have to contextualize it. I was born in South Texas, along the Rio Grande, Rio Bravo border. And to be honest with you, in Texas, I hardly heard during my school years the word Chicano. For us, it's Tejano, Tex-Mex. It wasn't until my family and I migrated from Texas to Washington State that I started to hear, the word Chicano. I started to learn about Cesar Chavez, Dolores Huerta. So for me, the word Chicano in a nutshell means a political state of mind.
I consider myself a Chicano. The term back then was Mexican American, but now we use the word Chicano. I know the U.S. Census started the word Hispanic to identify the community, and now they also have the Latino category. But I myself do consider myself to be a Chicano and identify with that culture.
The text that I use is Luis Valdez's book and essay, Pensamiento Serpentino. Now, a lot of people think that Chicanos, at least Chicano studies, is a place where brown kids come to learn how to hate the white kids. And nothing could be further from the truth. Another misconception is that if you are born in the United States and your parents are from Mexico, that you're automatically Chicano.
Luis Valdez speaks about El Teatro Campesino in his book, Early Works, that had to do with how Mexicans were treated and exploited by the Americans. They were discriminated in the working fields and in the schools. It also talked about a poem that was fully based on the Mayan culture, religious and political problems that shaped the Chicano culture. From culture to culture, we sometimes believe we are completely different from one another. The truth is we share similarities with different cultures to fulfill our goals. For example, the African American community is similar to the Chicanos due to their leader making a difference. Martin Luther King Jr. believed in nonviolent tactics to end racial discrimination, just as Cesar Chavez improved worker rights and created unions for field workers in a nonviolent approach. Both King and Chavez are examples of how our culture has similar characteristics to improve equality and our rights.
So the word Chicano, as we learn, is back then the word Chicano was seen as a native word, but over the decades it changed from different people that made it a positive thing. One of those people was Cesar Chavez, which he fought for the rights of the farm workers, and from there other people started doing the same thing for the Latino community. And from there, as we see, the Latino community went through different struggles and obstacles. So did other communities, as the African American community, the Chinese community. But overall, every community is the same, which we go through the same struggle, and at the end we come out to find something new, and that's what makes it unique about Latino community. it's not only just one community, but from different communities that we work together as one to make that community something better.